Ayun. Okay. So, let's go back first, trying to talk about the different microorganisms. So, how many gani ang groups of microorganisms? Ano yun yung mga ma-recall?
4 or 5.
5. Okay. Ano?
We have
We
the
have,
algae,
okay, algae.
bacteria,
Bacteria,
nematodes,
fungi, nematodes, and then?
ano ito isa? Ano lipat ko?
Ano tong ACT?
Di budlay, taramit lang. Labi ito ma.
Okay, so who can recall? Ha? Ano to? Sige, na-mention na si algae, si bacteria, si fungi, tapos si nematodes. Ang last one. In between na siya sang bacteria and fungi. Ha?
Actinomycetes, ma'am.
Okay. That's your actinomycetes. Actinomycetes na siya, anak. Mycetes. Actinomycetes.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, this one. Oh, si actinomycetes. So, think of it, basta si actinomycetes, in between na siya ni fungi, kag ni bacteria. Kaya unicellular siya, and at the same time, may ara siya sa mga mycelia, which is only supposed to be present sa mga fungi ninyo. So, at the same time, one thing na unique sa ila is that they induce ining nodule. Okay. Basta magamba kita nodule, dira na ang hausang aton niya mga nitrogen fixing nga mga bacteria. And also, try to recall this one, no? The reason why is it may smell, nga earthy smell, si aton nga soil is because of this geosmin. So this geosmin is the one that is being secreted or ginabuga sa mga actinomycetes. Okay, so they are the ones responsible sa odor sa aton nga soil. So we have next, of course, si fungi, no? Both eukaryotic siya and sometimes may pagka-prokaryotic man, but majority are eukaryotic. And at the same time, heterotrophic. So ano gani, maghambal kita heterotrophs?
Wala sila
What do we mean?
kapangita kapag kaon, ma'am.
Okay, so hindi nila kaya maghimo sang ilang own food. So dependent sila sa other organisms in order for them to have their own food. Anong opposite ni heterotrophic? Anong opposite niya? Ang kabaliktaran ni heterotrophic. Ano?
Eukaryotic, garo mo.
Ha? Autotrophs. Tama. Sino talaga ba autotroph? Tapos may char pa. Okay, autotrophs. Autotrophs or your autotrophic organisms. Auto, kumbaga, self lang, no? They are capable of producing their own food. So, they undergo ang process na photosynthesis. Yes. Okay, so among all nga soil microorganisms nyo, sino to ang capable mag-photosynthesize or what we consider nga mga autotrophs?
Si
Out of the five.
algae.
Okay,
Si algae, ma'am.
Siya yung capable sa photosynthesis. So, among all other, yung apat is heterotrophic sila. Meanwhile, si algae is the one that is autotrophic. So, among the five as well, ang nematodes and ang algae ang mga aquatic na to niya organisms. That means they highly require water or moisture sa soil. So, other than if wala at all moisture sa soil, most likely wala na mag-exist na mga algae and at the same time, ang ato niya, nematodes. Okay, so that's just a brief summary lang sa mga soil organisms. So, after learning ang different microorganisms and soil organisms, let's try to look into ang mga beneficial activities sa mga soil organisms. When I say beneficial activities, ang mga mapuslan, kumbaga, no? There are benefits that can be derived from their activities. So first one is decomposition of organic matter. Next, they are capable of promoting ang soil aggregation or yung pag-clump together sa mga soil particles. Next is bioremediation. So when we say bioremediation, this is the means in which ang mga toxic bala ng mga substances within the soil, ginapa-lower ang level para maging non-toxic na sila. So some of the activities of your soil organisms are capable of doing this one. And last is transformation of soil nutrients. So most likely, this is the one that is really relevant in terms of the relationship of your soil and that of your plant, because the microorganisms are capable of converting ang mga elements into nutritive na forms or mga available forms na for the roots to be capable of absorbing those forms. So one by one, let's talk about this one. No? First is the decomposition of organic matter. Okay, kindly raise your hand if you are willing to read. Kadevida? You raise hand. Kadevida, are you raising your hand, Ginman? O, sige, Daya. Ay. Naljin? Okay, I think Diana. Sige Diana. For the decomposition of organic, yes. Decomposition of organic matter. Hindi to. Nakamute ka, Guro ay. Hello?
Naka, ma'am.
Hello,
Start
ma'am.
na.
Decomposition of organic matter. Soil organisms are agents of decomposition of plant residues.
Various saprophytic
and
litter
feeding invertebrates, fungi, actinomycetes, and bacteria are always present. Whenever decomposition of taking place, many soil or animals feed on dead or living plants or plant materials, while some feed on microbes. They oxidize organic carbon into carbon dioxide, thus organic waste do not accumulate in soils.
Okay, thank you. So one of the beneficial activities of your soil organisms are they are capable of decomposing ining mga organic matter. So ultimately, ang results ng decomposition sa organic matter is our, ang stable products ng decomposition sa organic matter? Ano ang tawag? The stable product. When we say stable,
Humus, ma'am.
Humus. Okay. So, humus. Siya na ang pinaka-ultimate na product sa decomposition of organic matter. So, soil organisms are agents of decomposition of plant and animal residues. So, various saprophytic. When we say saprophytic, they feed on dead organisms, no? Dead plants or animals. Muna ilang food. And litter feeding. Invertebrates, your fungi, actinomycetes, bacteria are always present whenever there is a decomposition that is taking place. So many soil animals feed on dead living plants or plant materials, while some feed on microbes. So either living or non-living, they are capable of eating those ones so that they could derive some chemical energy para mas continuous ang ilang pag-function. And at the same time, they are also eating ang ilang mga fellow nga microbes. So they oxidize organic carbon into carbon dioxide. Again, this is through respiration. So thus, organic waste do not accumulate in the soil because Ang mga organic waste, imagine if wala kita decomposer, siguro tambak-tambak na ni kita subong sang mga plant residues and animal residues. Ano na lang ayhan kahig ko ang earth kung wala kita sa mga decomposers. So matambak na matambak lang na, they will never be converted to this humus. So that is how relevant is ang ato niya mga soil organisms. So next, sino raise your hand be who's willing? Okay, Jason?
Bacteria, fungi, and earthworm produce polysaccharides or sticky carbohydrates that act glues, binding individual minerals and humic particles together into aggregates. Aggregates improve soil pore space, making it easier for the soil to hold water and nutrients and recycle them slowly to plants.
Okay, thank you. So they promote again soil aggregation or the clumping together of of soil particles. So what is the good thing about soil aggregation? Again, it improves ang physical properties ng soil, particularly ang
Pore
soil
space naman.
structure. Yes, tama ka man, Jason. No? Ang sa porosity, it increases the porosity whenever there is aggregation. So bacteria, fungi, and your earthworms produce this polysaccharides. When we say polysaccharides, may mga imaw na siya mo. Monosaccharide, disaccharide, and your polysaccharide. Magamba kita poly, meaning damo na siya sang sugars. No? Kaya ang mono, abi, single sugar containing lang na, or single carbon containing nga sugars. So these polysaccharides are, some of them actually are sticky. Kumbaga may gluing effect sila. So these are produced sa inyong mga bacteria, fungi, and your earthworms. They're capable of secreting those. So these act like glues, binding individual mineral and humic particles together into aggregates. So aggregates improve ang soil pore space, making it easier for the soil to hold water. Ay of course, mas porous na siya, which means mas lapad ang iyang total surface area, mas damo attach siya ng water. And as well as nutrients and recycle them slowly to plants. So next, Anna Marie. Bioremediation. Ay, nautod siya. Oh, Gillette. Sige, Gillette.
Use of microorganisms and plants to detoxify or pollutant or substance known to have toxic properties that have been introduced into the environment through human activities.
Okay, thank you, Gillette. Anna Marie, sige, I think medyo late ang... Okay lang, Anna Marie, Okay na.
Okay, ma'am.
Sige. We'll continue. Thank you, Gillette and Anna Marie. So, bioremediation. So, this is one of the beneficial activities again, wherein microorganisms and plants help to detoxify. When we say detoxify, di ba, to ginakwaan ta siya sa opportunity to become, or ginakwaan ta siya sa iya nga potency nga maging toxic. Or they are capable as well of degrading ang mga pollutants or substances that are known to have toxic properties that have been introduced into the environment through human activities. So one of the most prevalent sine is the high or maximum use ng mga pesticides.
Bioremediation.
Pesticides sa field nato, no? Especially ang mga weedicides. ang herbicides. Herbicides ang tawag. Ang anti sa mga weeds, no? Nga ginagamit. So most of the time, taas na nakatama if highly intensive na ang cropping sa isang land area and then very aggressive ang paggamit sa mga herbicides. So most likely, ang mga toxic compounds that are present in the herbicides, magataas na ang iyang content sa soil. So one of the ways to ameliorate it or somehow to provide solution para mas maganubo iyang level nga magiging non or less toxic na siya is through the introduction of some beneficial microorganisms that are capable of converting those sa mga non-toxic forms na. And at the same time, sa ano pa ni gani, I think sa oil spill ba? Ginagamitan man na siya sa mga soil microorganisms para mabawasan ng oil spill, ng pollutant. Okay. So next, transformation. I think this one is the last one. Anyone? Remember raise hand? Who decides? Who can read transformation of soil nutrients? Why may raise hand daw? Sino? Regine? Shani?
Maglinis.
Sino raise hand ba? Open queue. O sige, Regine.
Transformation of soil nutrients. Soil organisms are largely responsible for the new various chemical changes in soils. Nutrients elements are either mineralized, transformed organic form into inorganic form,
Or immobilized.
Transformed from inorganic to organic form by soil organisms.
Okay, thank you, Regine. Okay, so one of the activities is that transformation of soil nutrients. So soil organisms are largely responsible for the various chemical changes in the soil. So they can either be, ang mga nutrients natin can either be mineralized or else immobilized. So si mineralized, it undergoes the process of mineralization versus that of this one, immobilization. Immobilization. Okay, so let's try to focus on mineralization. So when we say mineralization, it is the conversion from organic form sang soil nutrient into its inorganic form. The opposite is that of immobilization. Opposite lang siya, from inorganic to organic form. So when we say organic form, these are your nutrients that are a part sila sa mga tissues, sa mga soil microorganisms natin. So they have to be converted into inorganic form. Dapat ma-convert sila sa inorganic because the inorganic forms are the ones na ginagamit sa aton nga mga plants. Again, among the two, mineralization versus that of your immobilization, your mineralization is the one that is of advantage or is of beneficial sa aton nga mga plants because the soil nutrients are converted into inorganic form. Inorganic form, let's say in the case ni nitrogen. Okay, so si nitrogen, ang organic form niya can be amines or else and nitrogen and then attach na siya sa carbon. Once i-convert na siya into nitrate or else sa ammonium, these two are already in your inorganic form. Inorganic form wherein these two can already be wherein these two can already be utilized by your plants. ining duwa nga ni nga form sang nitrogen. Meanwhile, sa immobilization, so coming from nitrate, NO3 or else ammonium, ginabalik siya into organic form. So, si R group nga namin ko ni, ang carbon containing ni siya. So, most likely magiging amino acid na ni siya na magiging part na sa mga microbes. So, again, always try to distinguish the two among the two mineralization ang aton gusto nga matabo since this is the one that increases ang nutrient availability because these are the ones na mga forms na ginagamit sa crop naton or those that are recognized sa mga roots nga pwede nila i-absorb. Kaya ang organic form, hindi na nila ma-absorb. So, who can sum up ang apat na beneficial activities of our soil? Of our soil organisms. Ano tong apat? So we have ang pang-apat, are, transformation of soil nutrients. How about ang previous na tatlo? Anyone?
Decompositions of organic matter, ma'am.
Okay,
Number
isa
1.
na. Good. Another one. Sino pa?
Promoting soil aggregation, ma'am.
Okay. Sige, good. Rosel and Shanneline, promoting soil aggregation. And Sinabinyas, I think he answered bioremediation. And then last, this one, yung transformation of soil
Nutrients.
Okay, so we have decomposition, and then next one, promoting soil aggregation, bioremediation, and then last, ang transformation of soil nutrients. So these are all the beneficial activities of your soil organisms. So among the two, in terms of the transformation of soil nutrients, anong pinagkaiba sang mineralization versus that of immobilization? Dali ko bilang pasok ako. Sa isang screen so I can see who is present. Anong pinagkaiba?
Makuon kita, ma'am, nga mineralization, amo da ang nagatransform ka organic into inorganic form. While ang immobilization, dubaliskad lang siya, ma'am, inorganic into organic form.
Okay, good, Jason. So among the two, ano ang mas beneficial sa kay plant?
Siguro, ma'am, ang mas beneficial kay plant para lakanakon is immobilization, free inorganic into organic.
Naman. O sige, any answer? Thank you, Jason. Sige, any answer? Who is much more? Ano nga process ang much more beneficial? Is it mineralization or immobilization?
Mineralization, ma'am.
Sino to? Kenji. Ayun. Why is it Kenji?
Tingin ko ano makina, ma'am, nga tong sa nitrate. Diyan na-change ka tong na-change ka mineralization ang nitrogen to nitrate, ma'am, nga matay ka plants.
Okay. Sige. Tama. So among the two is that mineralization ang beneficial because gina-convert niya or else ang process nga ini, gina-convert niya ang mga nutrients into forms nga absorbable for your crop. Kaya magambal kita immobilization, by the name itself, gina-immobilize ta siya, no? Do ginagkuhaan ta sa chance nga ma-absorb. Kaya magambal kita immobilization, si microbes ang nagapakinabang sina, kaya ginasulod nila sa ilang tissues ang mga nitrogen or else other nga nutrients. So if sulod na nila sa ilang system, wala na chance si plant nga ma-absorb niya to. That's why gin-immobilize. Meanwhile, kag magambal kita sa mineralization, gina-convert ta siya into something, into a form nga absorbable for your plant. I hope that's clear, no? Si mineralization versus immobilization. Ipagwa ko na sa exam, no? Sa essay. So, take note. Sige. So, Jason, Clara, nakita dito? Save by?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Next. Ito. So, let's just do some recap. No, I think tatlo man lang yung question. Just to refresh you with the previous topics. Sige, Pet. Kindly read. Angela.
Soil organisms have verifying effects on the general properties of soil due to their variability in sizes and the differences of their body structures. The abundance of the species is influenced by their body size, which among the following is not true.
Okay. Letter A.
A. As body size as abundant increases. B. Microfauna is more abundant than macrofauna. C. As body size increases, abundance also increases. D. All of the statements are correct.
Okay, thank you, Pat. So, who can answer? So, let's try to look into the si question, tano. So, soil organisms have varying effects on the general properties of soil due to their variability in sizes and the differences of their body structures. So, as we've talked before, the abundance, ang species abundance, no? Again, when we say abundance, this is the number of individual for a given species, no? So, the abundance of species is influenced by their body size. So, which among the following statements is not true? So, starting with letter A, as body size increases, abundance decreases. Is it true or false? Ha?
True.
The more
Oo,
nga dagdako siya, let's say si microphone na, yung pinakagamay, magambal kita mega, muna siyang pinakadako. So, the more nga ga-increase ang body size, ano kakatabo sa abundance? Does it decrease or increase?
Ga-decrease, ma'am. Kumakanggad ya sapat, gaya na, ya, pagano na.
Yes, okay, correct. Lasapin, so this is a true statement. How about letter B? Microfauna is more abundant than macrofauna. So again, si micro, siya ang lower ang size, di ba? Lower ang size ni micro versus that of your macro, which is a much bigger size. Okay, so is this true or false? Letter B. Anyone? Is this a true statement or is it a false statement? Micro has a smaller size versus that of your macro, which is a bigger size. So this statement tells you ang gamay ko ng size more abundant versus that of those na may dagko na size. Is it true or false?
True, ma'am.
Jayden, true. Okay.
Jayden, true. Okay. True.
How about letter C?
How about letter C?
False, ma'am.
Nga man?
Tay, di ba, ma'am, kung maghanggod ya body size na, ang abundance na is syempre naga-decrease.
Okay. So, as you can see, in letter C and your letter A are opposing statements. When we say opposing, baliktad sila. So, there should be someone, there should be one of them na dapat sala. No? So, among the two, si letter A and letter C, ang sala is letter C. So, since the question tells you or asks you, No, which among the following is not true? So the answer here is letter C. Because tama man niya si A, tama man si B, and then ining si C, all the statements are correct. Te hindi man na pwede kami ara sang sala. Si letters. Okay. I hope that's clear. Next. You can read and answer.
Ma'am,
Sige, iba naman. Let's give chance to others. Aiden?
Ma'am.
Nag-raise hand ikaw? Aiden. Oh, sige.
What is the optimum temperature range for psychophiles? A, ma'am.
Okay, the answer is letter A. More than or equal to 15 degrees Celsius. Si 15 to 20, ano ni inyo ma-recall? Kung 15 to 20 ang iyang optimum range for temperature requirement. Ano?
Psychotrops, ma'am.
Alright, very good. Psychotropes. How about 20 to 45? Ano? Anyone? If 20 to 45 iya nga optimum range for temperature
Mesophiles, ma'am. Mesophiles.
Okay, mesophiles. How about more than 45 degrees Celsius?
Thermophiles.
Okay, very good. Thermophiles. Sino to nag-answer? Shanilyn? Okay, so the answer here is letter A. Next. You can answer. Just raise your hand so I can call out your name. Si Neljin, kagina pa nag-raise hand eh. Jean, sige Jean.
Which among the following is not a class of soil microorganism based on temperature? Letter C, ma'am.
Letter? Ano daw?
C.
C? C mo answer,
Yes,
Jean? Okay, C
Yes,
for katoto. Okay, correct. Letter C, because psychrophiles, psychotropes, and thermophiles are ano, ang requirement nila is in terms of temperature. So ano gani kung magambal kita microaerophilic, low oxygen levels, no? Kaya nila. Muna ilang nga requirement. Okay, so I think nagkaka-recall man ka mo sa previous na discussion. So let's move on to another part of biological properties. Time is it? Yeah. Nelji ni pa lower ko lang imo hand ha. Kaya gina ka pa raise hand. Okay. Okay, so let's move on here to the nitrogen cycle. So, ang nitrogen cycle naton, it is composed of different processes including nitrogen fixation, ammonia volatilization, nitrification, denitrification, immobilization, and mineralization. So, among all of this, medyo familiar na kita sa immobilization and mineralization. So let's talk about sa aton nga mga different nitrogen transformation na mga processes. So we can divide them either as biological processes or else non-biological processes. So basically, magambal kita biological processes, may ara involved nga mga mga living organisms that are facilitating ang mga muninga processes. Okay, may mga living organisms. So most of the time, yun sa mga soil microorganisms ang naga-initiate or naga-facilitate sa mga muninga mga processes. Versus that of your non-biological processes. So non-biological, of course, wala siya ga-involve sa living things. So most of the time, mga abiotic factors na, no? So this one, mga biotic or mga living things ang involved sa process nga. Meanwhile, this one, mga abiotic factors. Non-living. So most of the time, ano ni siya environmental factors ang initiate or naga-stimulate sa mga muninga mga processes. Si ammonia volatilization and your leaching. So let's try to talk about first ang mga biological processes. Nitrogen fixation, and then mineralization together with that of your immobilization, then nitrification and denitrification. Okay, who can, starting with your nitrogen fixation. Sige, who can read? Wala, may raised hand. Ari pa ka mo, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Gillette. Nice. Nitrogen fixation.
Recall ko.
Gillette.
Conversion of atmospheric N2 to ammonia NH3 by nitrogen-fixing microbes. N-fixers have nitrogenase enzyme which carry out the N-fixation processes.
Okay, thank you. So nitrogen fixation, it is the conversion sang N2. N2 is what you call ang nitrogen gas. Okay, as you can recall, ang atmospheric nitrogen gas natin is around 78% So that is how high ang nitrogen gas that are present in our. Ma'am, pwede ma-excuse dad ko, ma'am. Okay, Jayden. Eden, feel free. Thank you sa paglisensya. Okay, so going back, our nitrogen gas, again, it's really high. No, mga 78% sa atmospheric air natin is composed of nitrogen gas. So one of the things, in order for it, or one of the processes that should be done, in order for this nitrogen to be utilized by your plants is it should be converted danay, either as ammonia or pwede man siya madiretso na sa nitrate. So this nitrogen fixation is facilitated or being done by your nitrogen fixing microbes. So ini sila nga mga nitrogen fixing microbes, sila ni naga-convert sang nitrogen gas into ammonia. Okay? Again, when you say nitrogen fixation, from nitrogen gas going to ammonia or your NH3. So your nitrogen fixing microbes or your mga microorganisms that are capable of fixing nitrogen, kaya na nila obraon because they have this nitrogenase ACE. Always remember ang mga ACE nga ni, mga enzymes, may ara na sila sa ACE. Kaya nila mag-break down sa nitrogen and converting it into something, no? So your nitrogen fixers have this nitrogenase enzymes which carry out the nitrogen fixation process. So as you can see in this figure, these are your root nodules. Itong naistoryahan, tabalang mga nagabukol-bukol sa mga legumes nyo na plant. So like in the case of your soybean, aring mga nodules. Okay? Sa mung bean, this one are your nodules. or ipil-ipil. And then this one is for the peanut. Yes, peanut. No? So these are your root nodules wherein dira ang house. Dira naka-house ang mga nitrogen-fixing bacteria. Ara sila dira sa sulod sang nodules. Kaya gina-protect sila against sa oxygen. So again, most of the time, that's why very ideal mag-plant for leguminous nga mga crops and then sundan mo na naman sang lain nga crop because they are housing this nitrogen fixing na mga bacteria. Mas maga-lower ang kinanglanon nyo nga abono, like yung synthetic, because may ara na nga daan sila sa mga nitrogen nga gin-provide that are readily available for crop use. So nitrogen fixation from nitrogen gas to ammonia. So next, so there are three different kinds of your biological nitrogen fixation only, or what we call yung BNF, biological nitrogen fixation. So it can either be symbiotic, associative, or else free living. O sige, sino pa wala ko nabatian? Mangita ko sang Rufa. Rufa. Rufa, symbiotic. Let's give chance. Sige, Myra. Ayun. Symbiotic.
Symbiotic involves a specific partnership between bacteria and leguminous plants. The bacteria reside within specialized structures on the plant roots called nodules.
Okay. Sige. Okay lang, Rufa. No worries. Thank you, Myra. So that is, there are three kinds. First one, yung symbiotic. Symbiotic, by the name itself, may ara isang give and take na relationship. Okay? May ara ginahatag ang isang isang organism and then another organism na naging receiver, may ginahatag man siya pabalik. Okay? So that's somewhat mutualism ba? So in this case, ang symbiotic na nitrogen fixation, the bacteria itself is residing or nag-aistar siya mismo sa nodules. And in terms of the level of their association, they have this strong partnership or strong association with each other. Because your nitrogen-fixing bacteria, nag-reside siya, nag-star siya sa sulod ng nodules, and in return, ga-provide siya sang nitrogen nga pwede gamiton sa plant. Versus that of si associative. Okay, sino pwede mag-read sa associative? Sige, Katrina.
Associative, a loose association between free-living nitrogen-fixing bacteria and plant roots. These bacteria are not found within plant tissues but reside in the rhizosphere.
Rhizosphere, good. Okay, may ara lang sang halog, kumbaga, na association. Unlike this one, strong ang association sa symbiotic. When it comes to your associative, loose lang ang association between your nitrogen-fixing bacteria and your plant roots. And in terms of where does it reside, ang mga bacteria or mga microorganisms, it's only on the rhizosphere. When we say rhizosphere, ang sa surface lang na sa mga root hairs. Okay, like first, tsaka-tsaka kami na akong root hairs mo. Okay, so let's say, for example, muna yung mga root hairs, no? Kunwari lang. Inita na, may nodules, yun siya. So, diri niya ga-star ang nitrogen-fixing microorganisms when it comes to symbiotic. Meanwhile, kung mag-associative kita, diri lang sila ga-star outside. Ga-reside lang sila sa gwa sang roots. Wala sila naga-sulod. So that is the difference between the two. So meanwhile, another one is sa free living. How about sa free living? Who can read? Sige, I think nauna si Diana.
Free living, carried out by independent nitrogen-fixing bacteria that live freely in the soil or aquatic environments. They do not form any specific associations with plants.
Okay, good. So, basically, sa free living, by the name itself nga free siya, wala siya at all ga-depend sa plant. So, it can freely reside lang either sa soil or else sa soil solution or sa water ni soil. So, it is capable of fixing nitrogen even wala ang plant. So, they do not form any specific association with plants. So, starting with, in terms of the degrees ng association, ang pinaka-strong is your symbiotic. And then, next is may loose association lang with your associative. And then, when it comes to your free living, there is no association at all. Like, wala at all relationship si plant with that of your microorganism. And next is, in terms of the structure, if diin sila nag-reside ang mga nitrogen-fixing microorganisms, in terms of your symbiotic, sa nodules, sa associative, sa rhizosphere, and then sa free living, free lang siya sa soil. Okay. So this one, this is the list of genera, ang mga species naton that are examples of your microorganisms that have this specific kind of nitrogen fixation nga relationship. So under your symbiotic, ang mga rhizobium, that's why they are found inside the root nodules. Ang mga associative, around lang sila, no? Around the roots only sa rhizosphere. You have here yung azotobacter and your azospirillum. So sa mga free living naman, among all, I think mas damo ni sila. You have your bacillus and then your Klebsiella and then Clostridium. So, ang location nila, again, they are free living lang. Galutaw-lutaw lang na sila sa soil surface or else sa soil solution. Okay. Take note of this one. Okay, so we are done already sa nitrogen fixation. So, si nitrogen fixation, one of the biological processes sa how the nitrogen is being transformed sa ating atmosphere. So, next is mineralization to be followed sa immobilization. You can read this one. Sige, Anna Marie.
Mineralization, conversion of organic form of nitrogen into inorganic form of NH4 or nitrate as a result of microbial decomposition.
Okay, sige, direta.
Ammonization, hydrolytic decomposition.
Decomposition
of proteins and release of amines and amino acids. Proteins are minus in H2 plus carbon dioxide plus energy other products. Ammonification.
Amines.
Tropes releasing amines. And amino acids are utilized by heterotrophs releasing ammoniacal compounds.
Okay. Okay, Pat, I've read your message, ha. Go on lang. You are excused. Okay, thank you, Anna Marie. So, generally speaking, aton nga mineralization again, this is the conversion of an organic form into inorganic form. So, this is a two-step process involving your aminization and ammonification. So, first one, Ang aminization, hydrolytic, that means it involves water, no? Decomposition of proteins, releasing amines and your amino acids. So, I don't know if you can recall sa science nyo before, basta mga magambal kita amino acids, this is already ang mga basic units ng inyong proteins. So, once i-break down nyo si protein, ang pinaka-simplest form niya is your amino acid. So, si aminization, iya pa lang gini nga naubra is from protein, nako-convert niya pa lang into amino acid or else sa mga amines na form. Meanwhile, mag-ano na ta, ang next na step is your ammonification. Ang amines and your amino acids are already converted into ammoniacal na compounds or mga ammonia containing na compounds. So again, mineralization nyo starting with muna si first aminization from proteins resulting into amino acid. And then yung second step is your amino acids and your amines are converted into ammoniacal or else ammonia containing ammonium containing compounds. Okay. Next.
Ano?
So, in continuation lang nito ano. Ammonification. Ammonification. Kailangan. Ammonia. Sakto man. So, part pa sa ammonification ng formation sa ammonium.
Tigamit.
Ano? Sinagambal. Anyway, sige, ako na lang. So, mineralization and mobilization. So, this tells us, ang two processes nga ni occur simultaneously. When we say simultaneously, ano na mean gani kung simultaneous? Dungan sila kakatabo. Ang both in mineralization and your immobilization. So, in decomposing organic material. So, this one, pwede ka makafocus lang here. Mineralization from organic N resulting to inorganic N. Ari ang arrow na i-follow nyo. Si immobilization from inorganic up until resulting to organic nitrogen. Again, si organic nitrogen nyo, munini sila mga amino acids and your amines. Kaya mga munina ni sila ang mga present sa mga microorganisms na ginagamit nila. So, immobilization is also called assimilation or uptake. So, this is on the point of view na sa mga microorganisms. They already assimilate or else they use up ang mga organic forms ng nitrogen. That's why it is already immobilized or it is not already available for the plant use. Next. So with that, since dungan ka katabo no si immobilization and your mineralization, so your mineralization, the rate of these processes is governed by the carbon to nitrogen na ratio sa organic material ninyo. So when we say ilang nga ratio, for every part ni nitrogen, pila ang part ni carbon. So those with wider C/N ratios favor immobilization, while narrower C/N ratios favor mineralization. So what do we mean by wider? So like for example, ang ratio ng carbon to nitrogen naton is 1:20. May ara pagit kita nga isang organic matter nga iya C/N ratio is 1:15. Which among the two ang wider? Any insights? 1 is to 20 versus that 1 is to 15. When we say 1 is to 20, baliktad. 20 is to 1 na dapat. If C is to N. 20 is to 1. Or 15 is to 1. That tells you for every 1 na nitrogen, may ara 20 na carbon. And yun naman, for every 1 na nitrogen, may ara 15 na carbon. So, which among the two ang wider? Wider lang ano ito istoryahan na. Is it 20 is to 1 or 15 is to 1? Ang may wider, C to N ratio. Which among the two? Is it your 20 is to 1?
Balik.
Anna Marie? Anong mas wider, Anna Marie? Is it 20 is to 1 or 15 is to 1? Na C to N ratio. O sino, abe, unyita ko sa present. Binyas. Ara ka pa, pwede through chat lang. Yes, ma'am. Ayun. So, what do you think, Binyas? Sinong mas wide ang C to N ratio? Carbon to nitrogen ratio? 20 is to 1 or 15 is to 1? Ang carbon to nitrogen. Diin mas wider. Wider. Okay. 15 is to 1 siguro. How about sino pa? Sino pang may wild guess na? Si ano? Dito si Jason? Jason? Ara ka pa, Jason?
Yes, ma'am. Yapa, alive and kicking.
Still kicking. Okay. So, which among the two do you think ang mas wider ang ilang ratio? Is it 15 is to 1 or 20 is to 1?
$20 is to 1, Guru ma'am. Charla.
Okay. Base 20 is to 1. How about you, Anna Marie?
Kuan. Nastara galibog ulok, ma'am,
Okay. 20 is to 1 or 15 is to 1? Sige. Sige, Diana.
15 is to 1, ma'am.
Ang wider. 15 is to 1. Sige, Be. Sige. Okay, thank you for answering. But anyway, the answer is, ang aton, mas wider is si 20 is to 1. When we say wider, mas malayo ang ilaagwat, no? Mas malayo si 1 sa may 20 eh. So, tsakto ka, Jason. Yes.
Hay,
Okay, mas
ginano ko di
malayo.
man sa file na send mo, mama.
Ano na?
Ginaom ko di sa files kag gid-set mo para ligad.
Oo. Yes,
20 is
correct.
to 1 gid man.
Okay, so mas wider ang ilang nga C2N. If mas malayo ang agwat sang nitrogen from that of carbon, that tells you kung taas ni gani, no, kung mas wider, kung 20 is to 1, mas taas katama ang carbon niya nga present relative to that of its nitrogen na present. Meanwhile, kung manubo, mas nubo ang carbon na present relative to that of your nitrogen na present. So, what does it tells us, no? If wider or else, ang opposite ni wider, kung malayo ang agwat, that's wider. But kung malapit malang ila agwat, that's narrower. Or narrow ang ilang nga ratio. Narrow, mas lapit siya sa kay 1. Ha? Mas lapit ay ila agwat nga duwa. So, this tells you, kung 20 is to 1 versus that of 15 is to 1, kung 20 is to 1, mas gina-favor niya ang immobilization. Meanwhile, kung narrower, or in this case, sa example si 15 is to 1, it favors mineralization. Again, kung narrower ang difference or ang ratio sang carbon to nitrogen, that favors ang mineralization. So, moving on sa aton nga next na statement, no? Plant materials with high nitrogen content. Taas ang nitrogen na present sa ila. Especially ang mga legumes. Again, mga legumes nyo, mga peanut nyo, mga peanut, soybean, ipil-ipil, may mga nodule forming balang mga plants. So, they have high nitrogen content. So, if taas sila nitrogen content, mas ginapanarrow pa ang ilang C2N ratios. Mas nagiging closer, kaya mas mataas ang nitrogen mo. So, mas nagiging closer ang iyang nitrogen, carbon to nitrogen nga ratio. Kaya although mataas iyang carbon, but then again, mataas man iyan nitrogen. So, mas narrow ang ilang ratio. So, those with narrow na C2N or carbon to nitrogen ratio are easily decomposed. Meanwhile, ang mga legumes and mga woody plants, by the name itself, mga woody plants, kita nyo man siguro very rigid or mga matiga ina ang mga plant material. So that tells you mga carbon rich na sila. So if carbon rich sila, mas ginapa-widen nila ang carbon to nitrogen ratio. Kaya taas sa katama iya carbon and at the same time, limited pa iya nga nitrogen, kundi mas nagalapad pagid ang ilang difference. So, those woody plants and non-legumes have lower nitrogen content, so resulting into wider carbon to nitrogen ratios. So those are the ones na mas mahina or mahinay ang decomposition. So always think of it, sa mga carbon and nitrogen, ang carbon niya ni Abe, ginagamit niya siya for energy ni microbes. Meanwhile, ini si nitrogen, ginagamit niya siya for tissue build-up. Build-up sang mga microbes nyo. So that is why the material that you are trying to introduce, ang carbon and nitrogen nila na ratio, it really matters sa rate sang both nga mineralization and immobilization because these processes are governed by your microorganisms. And again, ang mga carbon and nitrogen nga na, they have their specific functions sa inyong mga microorganisms. So, dapat tani, mas narrow. Much better kung narrow. Kaya nga daan, maiwasan taing immobilization since abundant nakatama si microorganism tasang nitrogen. It can create its own amines and amino acids for tissue build-up. That's why, kung nubo, ang tendency ni microbe is mangkuha siya sa soil. So, once mangkuha na siya sa soil, it will result into immobilization. Na-deprive natin ang crop natin. So, the narrower the C2N, the faster is ang decomposition. The wider, or those from your woody plants, the slower is the decomposition. So, strike kita sa may narrow or ang mga leguminous na mga plant materials whenever you are trying to decompose or when you are planning to provide mga organic matter sa inyong soil. Much better kung mga leguminous because they have an ideal carbon to nitrogen na ratio. And at the same time, they favor ang mineral utilization. Okay. Kaya pa. No, this one. So, let's just try to end ang last ko na lang is nitrification and denitrification. So, we are done already. Ano na natapos ta nga Sino naman wala pa kahambal man? Naljean. Ano si Rosel, Arnold. Si Giselle. Giselle, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Ayun, sige. Nitrification.
Biological oxidation of ammonium to nitrate or biological formation of nitrate or nitrite from compounds containing reduced nitrogen.
Okay, sige, let's stop it there. So, thank you. So when we talk about yung nitrification, it's from ammonium to nitrate already. From ammonium to converting it into nitrate. So in between, sang pag-convert sang ammonium up until to nitrate, it is also a two-step process. Kaya there are different microorganisms, no? First step pa lang is si ammonium, i-convert niya danay into nitrite. And the microorganism that is responsible for it is ang Nitrosomonas. So from nitrite, this one ito si nitrite, converting it into nitrate. That's already the action of your Nitrobacter. So if you are asked, what is the organism or the bacteria na nag-convert coming from ammonium going to nitrite, that would be your Nitrosomonas. But from nitrite to nitrate, you have your Nitrobacter. Okay. So there are different species sa inyong Nitrosomonas. I mean, the bacteria that are responsible for converting ang ammonium to nitrite. Okay? Always remember NO2 pa lang ni. So we have 3 Nitrosomonas europea, Nitrococcus, and then Nitrospira. From nitrite to nitrate, we have your Nitrobacter. So those are the organisms nga naga-facilitate sang aton nga nitrification. So again, two-step process siya. First one, ammonium danay, converting it to nitrite. And then nitrite to nitrate. So from ammonium to nitrite, these are the microorganisms. From nitrite to nitrate, it's only for the one that is responsible is your Nitrobacter. So I think this one, may mga images di for you to better visualize kung ano nang mga itsura sa mga microorganisms na. So moving on. Wala na akong tubig. You can read this one. Denitrification. Anyone? Class? Denitrification? Hi, class. Okay. Then, Denitrification.
Denitrification. Biochemical reduction of nitrate into nitrous oxide and nitrogen as gas. Gas, ano na ang ito, ma'am?
Nitrogen gas na siya.
Occurs mainly in waterlogged soils that have low oxygen availability and a large amount of decomposable organic matter.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so it's just kung si mineralization, opposite niya si immobilization, ang opposite naman ni nitrification is your denitrification. So, as you can recall, si nitrification, atong final product is naka-nitrate, di ba? Mag-denitrification, ining nitrate nga ni, gina-convert niya ni either as your nitrous oxide or else it can be nagiging nitrogen gas na siya. So, this is not a favorable condition since kung taas ang denitrification, edi wala masyado supply ng mga nitrates ang ato niya crops. So again, we favor nitrification, we do not favor ang denitrification. Kaya ginabalik niya ining nitrate into nitrogen gas or else nitrous oxide. And this form of your nitrogen are not recognized by your plant for their use. So most of the time, this denitrification is favored whenever waterlogged condition ang inyong soil. When we say waterlogged, nakastagnant lang din ang tubig, no? So thus, they have very low oxygen. So whenever very low ang oxygen, and given na ang ato na mga microorganisms that are doing the nitrification process are requiring oxygen. So most of the time, very low na ila population. So nagataas naman that time ang mga anaerobic or those mga microorganisms na nag-perform sining denitrification. So these are your organisms that are performing sang denitrification. By the name itself, no? Denitrificants sila tawagan. So Micrococcus, Paracoccus, and Thiobacillus na denitrificants. So they are anaerobes and heterotrophic. So nitrate is being used by these organisms as their final electron acceptor during anaerobic respiration. So anaerobic respiration, the way they perform ang ilang respiration is they do not require sa oxygen. Okay, supposed to be kung may oxygen tani, si oxygen ang final electron acceptor. However, in this case, since anaerobic, ginagamit nila si nitrate as their final acceptor. So this results in the loss of nitrogen either as nitrous oxide or else as nitrogen. Okay, class, it's already 10:30. I have to end na dahil natin yung session since I have some activities man nga ginatag sa inyo like sa inyo bala nga hydroponics. So that consumes as well ang aton nga laboratory time. But after this meeting, I will provide ang form for you to provide ang inyong mga key points nga na-gather for today's meeting. I'll just try to end na yung aton nga presentation. Now. Okay, and by the way, for those who have taken ang quiz, highest score naton is 22. 22, I think it was Pet, Shani, and then si Clint. 22. Muna mga high scorers naton. So congratulations, Clint, Shani, and then Pet. And all of you may +1 since +2. Actually, +2 kay may bonus. May bonus ako nga na-observe sa inyong mga questions nga pwede more than one ang possible answers. And then for this one, I think I'll provide naman next week another assessment for you. through Google Form whenever suspended Japo nato niya face-to-face na class. No? And then, again, after this one, I'll provide you with a Google Form for your major key points. You can't get away with key points, no? So you can submit at any time today, and I will just close it around 11:59 p.m. tonight. And for those, I will try to work out ang recordings para sa mga classmates nyo nga wala naka-attend, at least kahit paano maka-catch up sila. So stay tuned lang sa aton nga GC. I hope you will continue to be active. Sa aton nga GC. Yes, Jason?
Ma'am, regarding bala ma'am sa tong hydroponics, ma'am, i-perform pa namon to ma'am diya laguro sa school or dyan sa house? Sa school ma'am or sa amon dolang panimalay?
It depends on you. Kung ano ang doable sa inyo. Kay pwede nyo na ubraon sa inyo or else pwede nyo ubraon sa school. Because di ba ang output ninyo is video?
Yes.
So it will not require you nga dapat sa school.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? And reminder sa wala nakapasa ha. Thank you, Ged, sa mga nag-pass on time. 4 out of 5 sa inyo. I really appreciate kay na-workout ninyo even mabudlay siya. No? Kudos to the efforts that you've put in. Isa na lang na group ang wala pa kapasa. And I've seen your output. Layo na ged ang pinagbago kumpara sa first ninyo nga pa-check. And then it tells me na incorporate nyo man ang mga feedback na ginhatag sa inyo. That's good. Any questions pa? Class, can I request nga if pwede kita ka pa picture? Since this is a proof that we have conducted a class. Okay? No pressure if hindi ka maka-open cam, but I hope maka-open cam ka mo. Ayun. Let's try to. Thank you, class. Galing mga happy face, maka-workout man gali kita even maka online class man kita. Hello, Rosel. Hello, Diana. Maya Bugtaw. Sige, class, i-end ko danay ang presentation. So that makaibog kita tanan. Tile. Yon. Sige. Okay, give me your best smile. 1, 2, 3, say fertility. Okay. Ano pa? 1, 2, 3. Okay, class. So you're good to go na. Thank you so much sa pag-attend.
Okay, ma'am.
Nagpainit kasi dyan.
Goodbye.
Ma-announce na ko galing. Bye, Jean. Bye, Diana. Bye, Katrina. Katrina, nadula ka dun guro kay. Bye-bye, Jean. Bye, Arnold. Bye, Jeanette.
Bye, ma'am.
Jean. Bye, Kinch. Bye, Kat. Bye, Myra.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye,
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, Anne Marie.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.